Let's now create activity type. We will create activity type working only, and then statistical key figures power supply, area of restaurant and data used. For production cost we will use direct allocation and not the activity type mentioned here. There are many activity type category having different usage as below. Activity type category 1, manual entry. Manual allocation. You plan activity quantities manually for activity types in this category. You enter actual activity quantities in internal activity allocation based on business transactions. Plan activities are allocated using activity input planning on the receivers. It may be necessary to reconcile the plan sender quantities and the plan scheduled activities. Activity type category 2, indirect calculation, indirect allocation. For activity types of this category, you plan activity types on the sender cost center. You can calculate the plan and actual activity quantities for activity types of this category as follows, automatically, using receiver tracing factors, which you can value with weighting factors and are defined for each sender, or, using a fixed quantity, which you define in the segment definition of the indirect activity allocation. The system automatically reconciles the plan and scheduled activity quantities. Activity type category 3, manual entry, indirect allocation. You plan activity quantities manually for activity types in this category. To enter the actual activity quantities by business transaction, access the cost center accounting menu and choose actual postings sender activities. You cannot enter receiver objects here. Plan and actual activity quantities are allocated automatically using defined sender-receiver relationships. The system calculates the activity quantity to be allocated to each receiver based on the relationship of the tracing factors to all receivers. Manually planned or posted activity quantities are further allocated in full to the receivers. This means that the activity types in the plan are always reconciled following the activity allocation. Activity type category 4, manual entry. No allocation. You plan activity quantities manually for activity types in this category. To enter the actual activity quantities by business transaction, access the cost center accounting menu and choose actual postings sender activities. We will use manual entry and manual allocation category. Let us create a new cost element for activity working. Note that this is secondary cost element with cost element category 43. Internal activity allocation.